Hello, everyone. This is Frank Weber, your host of It's a Frankly Hairy podcast. Welcome back to the forest today. I've got a great show for you here. As I record this, it's Cyber Monday. Hopefully you got cybered on that day and enjoyed all the cybering and are ready to go on toward Christmas. Hopefully you survived the next day as well, Giving Tuesday, which I won't get into again here, but you know how I feel about it. Anyway, I just want to let you know that the next few weeks we're going to have a show podcast every Wednesday for sure. And I'll be recording those ahead of the time. That means, of course, Christmas Day and New Year's Day, so you won't have to go without new podcasts over the holidays. I have been thinking about maybe doing some reposts of articles on Tuesdays and or Thursdays with some new ones as well. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to work that yet, but whether it's a repeat text or audio post, I will for sure have something each Tuesday and Thursday for the upcoming holidays as well. So just wanted to pass that along, make sure you're prepared and not surprised by anything. Anyway, I was called into jury duty this morning. I spent a total of about an hour there, and so did everybody else who was required to come. Have a lot of thoughts on that. I mean, I know not much happened as far as actually getting to sit in on a trial and or what it was about or who was involved or anything like that, but I did make a number of observations while I was there, and I just want to tell everybody, I had been able to avoid jury duty for, I guess you have to be at least 18. So I had avoided it for basically 29 years so far through various methods. And nowadays, not working, outside of my creative work right now, I was compelled to go and didn't really see any reason to fight it. So I went ahead and went in, and we weren't dismissed ahead of time, unfortunately, but we did get dismissed after an hour today, and I believe that means we'll get $20 for the day, it sounds like, since we showed up. So I'm very thankful for that. If I had managed to go there more than one day, the rate would have gone up to $58 a day. I know that's not too much, but I do think jury duty, I think it is important, and it's our other civic duty outside of voting, and I actually kind of think if they paid us obviously a much higher wage and it was worth our time, I almost kind of wish there would be like a full-time jury duty job, even though I didn't get to experience that part of it. But I think it would be kind of interesting deciding these cases. There'd be a fair amount of power, spread amongst me and my fellow jury members. Of course, there is no such thing, of course, as a full-time jury duty position, but I'm just thinking in terms of hypotheticals here. I'm just trying to have some fun. So, anyway, I got there at 8:30, I think, went through the metal detectors and security and all that, and then there's a big jury room where there's a lot of school desks, several rows of school desks with, you can kind of go in the side there, and then, of course, there's a little platform to write in front of you and everything. And then it was mostly a lot of waiting. In fact, it wound up being mostly waiting. Now, there were 2 TVs in that room, and I haven't commented on this before, but both of them were playing this thing called Chive TV, which I'm sure a lot of you out there listening know what that is. And I personally don't like it because it's very mindless videos people have filmed. It's kind of like an America's Funniest Home Videos, which was always kind of staged anyway, I think, back in the day, whether Bob Saget was hosting it or was that? Wasn't Carlton from the Fresh Prince? Didn't he host it for a while? Maybe somebody else too. I don't remember. But anyway, we think a lot of those videos were staged because they, if they made a good enough video and it got a lot of votes or whatever, they make a lot of money and whatever. But anyway, there's this entire channel called Chive TV. And I was really kind of shocked that they had it on in a jury room because it's very mindless kind of dumbing down TV. I really don't like Chive TV at all. But it's basically like America's Funniest Videos being run 24 hours a day. I don't even know if it's on like cable or satellite systems. I don't think I have it on my dish or whatever, but I was kind of disappointed that that's what they were showing because, I think it just kind of dumps us down. And of course we had a very important job there to do. So I'm not a big fan of the Chive TV, and I think a lot of the videos were stupid and staged, just like, AFI all those years ago. But so I was really kind of disappointed in that. They did show us a state-sanctioned video. That was kind of interesting. Showed us things like myths and facts regarding jury duty, and showed some clips from some old Hollywood films. Well, I think they're all pretty much, and TV shows actually as well, like Law and Order, and what they have on there, My Cousin Vinny and To Kill a Mockingbird. The Verdict was on there with Paul Newman, things like that. Anyway, it was kind of an interesting video. Don't need to get into any kind of details here. They did have several state judges, or not necessarily state judges, but, the state obviously kind of heads over the, the county and local judges as well. They had a lady on there named Elizabeth Earle, who is a Travis County attorney, or Travis County judge, I think. I think that's Ronnie Earle's daughter. Very attractive woman, very attractive judge. We seem to have more and more attractive judges these days. Wasn't a big fan of her father's, and honestly, if I still lived in Austin, I don't know if I'd be a fan of hers either, quite honestly. But I know it was really weird living there back in the day when he seemed to have, as he was just a county judge, Travis County judge, or Travesty County as we often called it, because there was a lot of crazy decisions and rulings and people down there. I know, I'm just waving to my friends there in Austin right now. But anyway, it was weird because they did this Robin Hood school finance thing years ago, and I talked about this, by the way, on my old podcast, the Frank Weber's Party, one time. But it was really weird how he was just a Travis County judge, and he apparently exerted a lot of power over the legislature for a lot of the things that they were trying to pass. And when I was in high school, they passed this crazy thing called the Robin Hood Bill, which was where they took from the rich school districts, gave to the poor school districts or whatever, and that resulted in my high school turning up the air conditioning, and yet the school year started earlier and earlier. We were starting by mid-August by the time I finished. And so it didn't do me a hell of a lot of good, the turning up the fucking air conditioner, while I'm sweating like a pig, and, why we couldn't start a little bit later. So I was, so fuck them, basically, that's what I'm trying to say. But anyway, they showed that video, and it was kind of an interesting video, kind of boring, very routine. And then, one other thing that I'll mention here is I did bring a book along because they recommended that. I had a little Gideon's book of the New Testament, and then Psalms and Proverbs. I read that a little bit. I guess I had never read much of the Gideon Bible before, but it seems like kind of a cleaned up King James version. Somewhat difficult to interpret, and you have to kind of slow down a little bit to comprehend. But I did that for a while, and anyway, and then about 9:30, after having been in there an hour, we were dismissed by the judge. Tatiana Frausto, who's a judge here in the area. I think I voted for her. And another attractive woman, but except this time I think I like her better. I voted for her. So anyway, it was pretty boring. And then he dismissed us, and to have no need, really, obviously, to have my form signed to make sure my employer knew I was there. But apparently you can donate your jury duty pay. I don't know who you donate to. I don't know if that's through the employers or not, but anyway, it was a good experience, I guess. You know, since I took the time out to actually go there, I think I would have liked to have, maybe like to have been on a jury if it wasn't going to take more than a day or two. And then I had thought about what I would tell the judge or the attorneys if I didn't want to stay or whatever. I think I would have said something like, I'm a very right and wrong sort of guy, and if there's any evidence presented that is questionable in the least, I'd probably say that person's guilty, and I wouldn't be able to change my mind or something like that. But I don't know how many people actually, the whole thing actually wind up serving on the jury and having to do that, but in the end. But obviously they settled out of the court, and maybe right there this morning, not too long after we got there. So anyway, so that's my first jury duty experience. Hopefully that's kind of entertaining for you. The only other topic that I was going to talk about today, I wanted to spend most of the time on the jury duty. Somebody saw a story earlier about this new movie, Wicked. Looks like a kid's movie mostly. I'm probably not going to go see it. Nor anything else really. I don't watch a lot of Disney stuff anymore. Like my wife and her family seem like they always like Disney stuff for some reason. I don't know if it's a Filipino thing or what the deal is there, but anyway, I can say that because I'm married to her, by the way, so I don't want to hear any comments on there. But yeah, there was this thing about this movie Wicked, which has something about this green witch who I guess is probably going to grow up to be a witch on the Wizard of Oz or something like that. I guess that's what it is. I don't know, but that they were doing something in England about what do they call those damn things now? Those bullshit things, trigger warnings or something, which are totally unnecessary. You already have a rating system in movies and TV now, and that should be enough for you. Our freedom of speech in this country, you don't have the right to not be offended. Since we all have speech, even speech that some would deem hate speech is protected. But anyway, there's something going on in Great Britain, which amongst a lot of the Western countries seems to be falling further and further down compared to many of the other Western nations, whereas here in the United States, it kind of looks like we're turning things around and going up, up, up. But they decided to put these trigger warnings in front of this show, Wicked, because they think that this girl is somehow green. And I don't know if it's because she was related to Kermit the Frog or Lou Ferrigno's Incredible Hulk, perhaps. Or Wicked Witch of the West, or what were they, right? Wicked Witch of the West and the East and Wizard of Oz or whatever. Anyway, I don't know. I'm just trying to say they should end all that bullshit. There's no reason for it at all to put trigger warnings on. You can't even... I think... wasn't some channel doing that for like All in the Family? Maybe not now, since they went over to Me TV, which I haven't had in a while now because of Dish. Thank you so much, Dish. I mean, I know it's good that you don't have Chive, but then you took my Me TV off, and now I can't watch All in the Family or The Love Boat. So I'm still pretty pissed about that. Hopefully their merger with DirecTV will fix that. But yeah, anyway, I don't know how you feel about green people. I know there was also a reference, of course. Trying to which episode was it where Captain Kirk went out with a green woman? Because I think there was a green woman also in the one with when they had Jeffrey Hunter in that one episode at the very beginning. But anyway, nobody's racist on this show. I mean, everybody's treated the same, and there's no need to do extra stuff and justify your jobs and everything like that. And really need to pray and think about the folks there in Great Britain and all this crazy stuff that's going on there. I think it kind of seems like the world and the Western world may be turning around a little bit, hopefully permanently and for the better. But I don't know. I don't think there's any necessary, too many ratings, too many warnings. Just go and watch the show for what it is. I guess apparently the witch in it is discriminated against because she's green or something like that. But obviously the story, like most Disney movies actually historically, is about one of triumph and overcoming and everything. So I just wanted to share my quick take on that. Hopefully that made sense for you. Well, I think that's about all that I have for today. We're over 17 minutes now. I know we can go on a little bit longer perhaps, but that's about all that I have planned for today. I'm working hard on these other topics for these podcasts to go through the new year, and definitely going to be writing some more. Some of it, of course, later on will be reruns, for the week of Christmas and New Year's perhaps, but planning on writing a lot of Christmas or Christian-themed articles, I think, from here to the new year. Just a new way of thinking about things that your organized religion or institutionalized church probably won't tell you or may not tell you. In fact, I was just thinking there's a lot of there's a before story and an after story to the Nativity of Christ. You may know more of the before story than the after story outside, of course, Christ's life, but are things that I've always pondered and wondered about, and also other issues regarding, public policy and what the Word says about them. I've been thinking about that a lot too lately, but still trying to hash those out and figure out how to convey those in the most productive and hopefully entertaining manner for you as well. And so I thank you so much for your support. The numbers seem to still be going up, and I'm so grateful to you for that, for my fans and my community, some new subscribers lately as well. Just want to give a shout out to them. But always go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Tell your family, friends, everybody you meet, maybe at church or Starbucks or at a game or at jury duty or wherever you are, about It's a Frankly Harry podcast and Life's Comedic Odyssey, the written version of my Substack site, and it's nowhere to go but up pretty much for us. So until next time, this is your host Frank Weber signing off from the forest here on It's a Frankly Harry podcast, and can't wait to see you again next week. Bye, everybody.